I was in a bit of a slump. I got sick on the front end of the season, and that was not conducive to training well, so my training was subpar at the beginning. That struggle helped me realize that my life isn't just about running. Up until then, I had poured myself mostly into my running, and I had faith, a fairly strong faith, I would say, but a recalibration of my priorities, realizing that if I didn't get to run this race or wasn't as fit as I'd like in the summer, that it's all right because I'm not defined by my sport. Um, I'm defined by something greater. Michigan was a great place to grow up.
Great, love that.
I definitely enjoyed my time there. The like my friends and also the community of Grand Rapids was very homey. Like it felt like home, and that allowed me to run well, to study well, and was a great place to grow up.
Yeah, like there's still legends. I was a diehard arena football fan, so my first exposure to Grand Rapids, home of the Grand Rapids Rampage.
Really?
Anyone ever talk about the Grand Rapids Rampage or that in your lifetime? This was never a thing.
My stepdad played for the Rampage.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So in high school, student body president, honor society president. I believe you won a Congressional Medal of Honor of some sort.
Medal of Merit, yeah,
Medal of
for
Merit.
volunteering.
And what was that? How'd that come about? That's a pretty big title.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea it existed until I was told that I was nominated for it. But basically, it's given to civilians that do a large amount of volunteering.
What did you volunteer? Where was your core volunteering happening?
Yeah, so I volunteered a lot with JDRF, which is the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and seeing as I have type 1 diabetes, um, it was a great opportunity to help the community that had helped me when I was first diagnosed. And I'd done a lot of ambassadorship. I went to Washington, D.C. to lobby, and it was a great opportunity and a great organization to be a part of.
If you're ever looking for purpose in life, like taking up volunteer hours, just helping out any local charity cause that seems exciting to you is a great way to turn things around quickly. But for you to be able to do something so close to you is really important.
Yeah, it definitely is. I feel like that connection to my own story allows me to first empathize with others in similar situations as my own, but also just gives me more, I guess, passion and drive to actually create and work towards change.
And when did you get diagnosed with diabetes? What's been your journey there?
Yeah, I was diagnosed when I was 7, and I'm 21 now, so over 2/3 of my life has been with type 1, but all thanks to my mom in those early years, especially. She took a lot of the brunt of the late nights and changing insulin sites and whatnot. But it's been something specifically with running that I've learned to adapt to. Because it throws in interesting things with fueling and how I prepare for my runs.
What was your scariest moment?
Probably getting diagnosed because I was pretty sick the month leading into getting diagnosed. Lots of sweats and eating and not sleeping very well. And my parents didn't really know what was happening because there were generic symptoms. And I went in and was immediately sent to the hospital because we saw my primary care. And then went to the hospital, was there for the whole day. Um, and I'm just thankful that I wasn't there for longer and that it wasn't irreparable.
Is that why you want to be a doctor? Because you're so grateful that medicine saved your life?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head with that. I have always been exposed to the medical community, and I'm naturally interested in science, but being able to be helped by people through their vocation, their job of being a doctor, and really changing the course of my life has helped me understand that I could be that person for others.
What gave you the courage to go become a runner? Because I have to imagine that's hard to do anyway. there's a barrier you have to push yourself to, and then you got to get beyond that to get that second wind. Um, in your case, I have to imagine it's a little bit scarier with what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, where you have some medical things, and that's true for any athlete dealing with type 1 diabetes. I just have to imagine hitting those extra levels has a little bit of extra consequence to it when you're
Mhm.
thinking about all the other things going on in your body.
Yeah, I think diabetes definitely creates an extra thing to be thinking about. I wouldn't necessarily say I feel like I'm putting my life on the line to be running, um, but it's a concern. I've been on runs where my blood sugar has dropped low, and I've had to have teammates go into a hotel and grab me sugar packets, and um, it definitely throws in another variable that I have to account for. But like you were saying, that drive that I have to run and to thrive in the sport overcomes any concerns I would have with diabetes or other things.
What makes you love it so much? Because you're pre-med, you got lots of other things going on, you know, what makes you want to keep running until that last day at USD?
I think it's the same thing that's going to keep me running for the rest of my life outside of NCAA athletics, but just the simplicity and the beauty of running in of itself, the ability to, under your own power, move and move fast. And when you reach that flow state, people call it the runner's high. And I wouldn't say I'm necessarily chasing it, but uh, those moments uh, with the fitness and the beautiful day that you just are thankful that you're able to be doing what you're doing.
It sounds like you guys have an amazing team culture.
We do. I'm very happy, especially as a captain with our team culture. It's it ebbs and flows with every year with the addition and uh, subtraction of teammates, but we keep the core principles of like being there for one another, doing what we're doing, not for ourselves, but for the team. Uh, those types of things really aid themselves to a great time together.
I'd love for you to talk to just how impactful your team, your coach is on the lives of all the people on the team and how it is helping you. You're about to go become a doctor, how it's helping you become a doctor and it's helping you grow as a person outside of just the performance at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think running and our coach and the program really helps create that student athlete uh, person that the NCAA is looking to build and USD wants. I mean, we want good academics as well as good athletics. And if you look at, say, the cross country and track programs, we have some of the highest GPAs in the school. And I don't think that's a coincidence that our average is higher than the average student population because we're recruiting through the sport people that are driven and ready to work, and that creates a better school culture overall, let alone great sports to watch, participate in, and be inspired by.
And USD is a better place because this team is here in all of these students' lives. Is there a teammate that you feel has particularly made your life richer with the influence you were able to get, maybe from mentorship, something during your time here?
I well, first, yes, I would say all of them have left a great impression on me and have challenged me and encouraged me to grow and become the person that I am today. But probably the teammate that has influenced me the most is my roommate and best friend on the team, Jake Coleman, Walter Jake Coleman. But yeah, he's a fifth year, so he's been here my entire time that I've been here, and he is the perfect example of doing what's right in every moment and seeking to be the best person you can be with every day that you're given.
If you look back at all your races in track and cross country during your college career thus far, you have one more season left. What is your proudest one so far?
Hmm. I would say my proudest race was WCC's this past cross country season. I was in a bit of a slump. I got sick on the front end of the season, and that was not conducive to training well, so my training was subpar at the beginning, and WCCs is the race that we kind of build to and want to see our best selves in. And it was pouring rain, a new course, it was freezing, and something clicked that I ran a great race that day, and I played my part for the team for us to meet our goals and expectations.
What do you think it was that came through you that day?
I mean, I would attribute it to my faith in the Lord, and Jesus Christ being that rock of my life that I relied on in those hard moments. Um, but I think also the focus that I had in that race to stay attentive to what's happening around me and how I should adjust to run well, staying present.
During your college athletics journey, what do you think your hardest moment was?
I would say a couple things come to mind. With every new season of a sport brings its own challenges. Last track season was cut prematurely short because of sickness again. I got pneumonia at the end of the season, and that wiped out
Whew.
any chance of final races with peak fitness, which was a real bummer, a real bummer. But we bounced back and had a great cross country.
And what helped you like get so you look at that must have been you're an achiever. That must have been terrible, man. Like I have to imagine you're sitting there with pneumonia. Every part of your brain wanted to go. Where did you get the faith that there was maybe a greater purpose and all of that? Like what did you learn during that period of time? 'Cause I have to imagine that was just awful for you.
Yeah, it was definitely not easy, but I think that opportunity, I like to look at it as an opportunity because difficulties and as well as great moments all have their learning abilities. Um, but that struggle helped me realize that my life isn't just about running. Up until then, I had poured myself mostly into my running, and I had faith, a fairly strong faith, I would say, but a recalibration of my priorities, realizing that if I didn't get to run this race or wasn't as fit as I'd like in the summer, that it's all right because I'm not defined by my sport. Um, I'm defined by something greater.
When you're in the operating room one day, do you think that this running thing is going to end up being something you look back on and you're in there and you just can't quite find the solution? That's heavy pressure. Do you think you're going to look back on this running time of your life where you were competing at this high level and thinking to myself, like, man, there was this track meet, this cross country meet, I was able to get through that hurdle. Like, you're going to have that visualization in the back of your mind to help you go save that patient?
Yeah, I think running at USD as well as just going to college and going to school for so long has taught me that I can overcome obstacles and I've done hard things before and my sport is inherently hard. I go out every day and whether I like it or not, I run. Whether my body's tired, I run. And I think that will definitely afford me a better perspective and perhaps more perseverance when I'm at the table.
If you look back in your journey here, what's the most fun thing you've had? What's your most fun day at USD that you've had?
Fun day?
Fun day at USD, yeah.
Wow. Um, it would it'd probably have to be sometime during preseason. So every summer we come here early to get ready for cross country, and there are some days where we just go to the beach as a team or ride roller coasters or go camping, and those days are so amazing because it's about running and friendship, which is some of the best things ever. um, but I think if I were to not restrict myself to a day, just the indescribable, unrememberable, or unmemorable conversations that we have on runs, or the laughing that I don't even remember what we're talking about, but it's just nice and beautiful.
You're going to miss it.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be,
Absolutely.